पथ पर अड़ी कैसे रहा जाता है। अपने ध्येय पथ में भी हमारी मेहनत में कोई
Prime
कमी
Minister
ना रहे।
Narendra Modi's coalition led in a majority of seats Tuesday in India's general election, according to partial figures, but faced a stronger challenge from the opposition than expected. After it pushed back against the leader's mixed economic record and polarizing politics.
For the first time since Modi's Bharatiya Janata party swept to power in 2014, it might not secure a majority on its own, according to the ongoing vote count, but the Prime Minister was still expected to be elected to a third, five-year term in the world's largest democratic exercise.
If Modi has to rely on coalition support to govern, it would be a stunning blow for the 73-year-old, who had hoped for a landslide victory. Despite the setback, many of the Hindu nationalist policies he's instituted over the last 10 years remain locked in place. In the face of surprising numbers, both sides claim they had won some sort of victory. People have placed their faith in the NDA for a third consecutive time, Modi wrote on social media platform X, referring to the National Democratic Alliance that his party heads. This is a historical feat in India's history. Meanwhile, the main opposition Congress party said the election had been a moral and political loss for Modi. This is public's victory and a win for democracy, Congress Party President Mallikarjun Kharge told reporters. In his 10 years in power, Modi has transformed India's political landscape, bringing Hindu nationalism, once a fringe ideology in India, into the mainstream while leaving the country deeply divided. His supporters see him as a self-made, strong leader who has improved India's standing in the world. His critics and opponents say his Hindu-first politics have bred intolerance, and while the economy, the world's fifth largest and one of the fastest growing, has become more unequal. The counting of more than 640 million votes cast over 6 weeks was expected to last into the night. Some 12 hours into counting, partial tallies reported by India's Election Commission showed Modi's BJP was ahead in 114 constituencies and had won 126 of 543 parliamentary seats. The Congress Party led in 45 constituencies and had won 54. A total of 272 seats are needed for a majority. In 2019, the BJP won 303 seats, while they secured 282 in 2014 when Modi first came to power. The BJP-led National Democratic Alliance led in 147 constituencies and won 139, according to the partial count. The Congress Party is part of the India Alliance, which led in 131 constituencies and had 199. The Election Commission does not release data on the percentage of votes tallied. Exit polling from the weekend had projected the NDA to win more than 350 seats. Indian markets, which had hit an all-time high on Monday, closed sharply down Tuesday. With benchmark stock indices, the Nifty 50 and the BSE Sensex, both down by more than 5%. For Payal, a resident of the northern city of Lucknow who uses only one name, the election was about the economy and India's vast number of people living in poverty. People are suffering, there are no jobs, people are in such a state that their kids are compelled to make and sell tea on the roadside, Payal said. This is a big deal for us. If we don't wake up now, when will we? If Modi wins, it would only be the second time an Indian leader has retained power for a third term after Jawaharlal Nehru, the country's first prime minister. But if his BJP is forced to form a coalition, the party would likely be heavily dependent on the goodwill of its allies, which makes them critical players who we can expect will extract their pound of flesh, both in terms of policymaking as well as government formation, said Milan Vaishnav, director of the South Asia program at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. This would be truly, uncharted territory, both for Indians as well as for the Prime Minister, he added. Before Modi came to power, India had coalition governments for 30 years. His BJP has always had a majority on its own while still governing in a coalition. Extreme heat struck India as voters went to the polls. While temperatures were somewhat lower on Tuesday, election officials and political parties still hauled in large quantities of water and installed outdoor air coolers for people waiting for results. Outside BJP party headquarters in New Delhi, supporters banged drums and bells as the counting was underway. Earlier, party workers performed a Hindu ritual. Meanwhile, supporters at the Congress party headquarters appeared upbeat and chanted slogans praising Rahul Gandhi, the face of the party's campaign. Speaking at the press conference with party president Karj, Gandhi said he saw the figures as a message from the people. The poorest of this country have defended the Constitution of India, he said.